All right, let's talk some Aztecs. I know the men's basketball season is over. Another trip to a Sweet 16, but we're already looking ahead as well to 2024-25. It is great to catch up with Jeff Smith. He is the president of the Mesa Foundation, which, of course, is critically important to the future of San Diego State men's and women's basketball via the NIL collective. So, Jeff, there's a lot to get into. Let's just start, though, with the season. I mean, another Sweet 16 trip for the Aztecs, back-to-back, for the first time in school history. How special has this recent run been from your shoes these last 2 years?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Thanks, as always, guys, for having me on. It's so hard when you're in the middle of it to really grasp that context. When you hear some of these programs that have been in the Sweet 16 and the time that's elapsed before, between when they've been in the Sweet 16 or the Elite Eight or the Final Four, you really understand how difficult it is. And I mean, to go from the championship game to the Sweet 16 and drawn, unfortunately, UConn twice, it's amazing. And I know that San Diego Aztec fans are growing to expect it. I hope that most of them understand how incredibly difficult it is. Was that our fourth time in the Sweet 16 in the last, 20 some odd years? That's an amazing number of trips to that level. And we're lucky.
We are at the 1 year anniversary of Lamont hitting that shot in the Final Four versus FAU. Since that moment, how has the last year been for San Diego State, in the NIL and in the Mesa Foundation?
A lot of good stuff. We certainly, with time and with effort and repetition, through vehicles like both of you and others, San Diego loves the Aztecs. NIL is becoming a more widely recognized and folks are more willing to agree with the fact that it's not going anywhere, I think, for the most part. That said, it's still a challenge. We've grown to a point where, year two, which was this last season, was twice as big, both in terms of the number of members and our total revenue and what we were able to compensate the student athletes for their participation in the different things that we have them part of, the charity events, the business functions, all the different things that Mesa acts as a conduit for. We're going to be twice as big of that going into next season. Our fiscal year ends at the end of June. We look at July 1st as, kind of the measuring stick of what we're able to agree to when we're having conversations with the existing players, and really relevant conversation right now, the future players, the transfer portal targets, and it's going good. But I mean, when you look at the overall numbers of people that go to the games and the number of people that are inside one of these watch party locations and the tens of thousands of people that follow San Diego State basketball, we've got a little over 500 members. And even though the dollar figures show a lot of success, and the businesses like Nova Kombucha and Blenders and Woodstocks and others that are starting to join speak to a lot of success, I look at 500 people and I think people still aren't listening, and that concerns me because competitively the market's moving in a crazy fast way.
All right, so Jeff Smith, president of the Mesa Foundation, with us right now. If you want to support, as Jeff said, I mean, it is flat out critically important, whether it's San Diego State, it's just the collegiate landscape and the importance of name, image, and likeness in these collectives. You can go to mesafondationsd.org, where memberships start at just $20 a month. Again, mesafondationsd.org. Jeff, if you take us kind of behind the curtain here as we begin a transfer portal cycle, and you're thinking about who stays, who goes, who's added via the portal, is this about, what's more important? Is this about retaining players? Is this about adding players, or is it equally important, all those things combined?
Yeah, no, it's both. I mean, I feel like there's so many different profiles of players on the team, but when they get here, they love being here. We've said continually that what we're trying to do with Mesa, Mesa is the singular conduit for NIL support for men's and women's basketball. We are the collective that serves the basketball team. There's others that focus on some of the other sports at San Diego State, but we're it for hoops. And I think that it's impossible. People want to be here. You know, we want to make sure that the reason why they don't come here has nothing to do with NIL. That maybe there's other reasons, but when they're here, they want to be here for all the obvious reasons. You know, they get to live in San Diego, they get to play for this team with this fan base. They get to experience the success that you touched on. I mean, how many places on the West Coast, you want to stay in the western part of the country, are you going to go to where you're a perennial conference championship competitor, a favorite most often, and you're oftentimes vying to get a couple games, if not deeper, into the NCAA tournament. That's unique. But there is so many times that I read or hear people talking about, well, let's just go get somebody in the transfer portal, or we need this guy, we need that guy, and those hope references and kind of assuming that things are going to work out. That's just not. It absolutely is not reality. And this NIL criteria, as you know, we had players last year after that run to the championship game that wanted to come here, but we weren't even remotely able to talk about the dollar figures that were being suggested. And credit to Dutch and the guys, they don't want to have conversations with players to start the discussions with, here's my NIL requirement. And I love that, right? That means we're going to continue to have the kind of student athlete that wants to be here, that's going to go grind it out, that's buying into the system. But that said, it has grown to be an undeniably prevalent, always involved part of the conversation. And what we have now, although we've grown it, it just isn't where it needs to be. And I just go back to the fact that, this success that you referred to, that we're all so lucky to enjoy, that we've all grown so used to kind of experiencing, even though 16 and the championship game certainly is unique. I mean, really, Aztec basketball is always good, and it's because of the things that we talked about, the coaches and the culture, the environment, and the location, all those things. But it is going to change. And it's going to change pretty quickly if we can't get 500 up to 2,000. And those $20 references, you're talking about a meal, or for those that like to go have a beer and watch a game, a couple of beers a month. I mean, these are very, very small dollar amounts that when we multiply times the number of people that we should be able to multiply, people listening to your show. I mean, take the step and go. You're going to see some stuff coming out from the coaching staff that talks about the importance of this. It is so important. And the only way it's going to be successful is if fans decide to step up with a little bit. It isn't about $100,000 donations or $500,000 donations. That's not us. It's about getting everybody at these watch parties to decide, man, I really wouldn't have mind watching another week. And I can't guarantee it, but I sure can guarantee it's going to go the other direction if I don't decide to take that $20 and a meal a month, or however you want to, rob Peter to pay Paul, and help out the program. You don't do that, things aren't going to continue down that trajectory.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, because you said, it's not where you would like it to be or where it needs to be right now. Is it as simple for everyone listening that's an Aztec fan out there? Is it as simple as, just more people signing up to be a part of the Mesa Foundation, or do you need more than that to get to where you guys want to be?
I mean, I would say that the answer is yes. It's that simple. Yeah, we're focused on businesses, and yes, I think that if business owners are out there, whether you're in the customer service, restaurant business or hospitality business or whatever you're in, if they had a chance to speak to Novo and Woodstocks and Blenders and the others, and they understood that the impact of connecting to these student athletes through Mesa, through NIL, what that means to projects like the 12 that Blenders went through and they sold out in 24 hours. What that means for people that show up to the establishments to support them through watch parties and buying a kombucha or buying a pizza at Woodstocks. Like, there's no doubt that there's an amazing opportunity to work with Mesa and impact NIL for businesses. But for those that don't own businesses, are just driving home, or just fans, yeah, it is as simple as just going to that website and joining and deciding to carve out $20 a month. And guess what you get? You honestly, again, you guys have been at these things. You absolutely get insight and access to the coaches and the players like you don't have right now. And nobody who's decided to be a part of what we've put together and these opportunities for folks to decide to really step up and help, nobody regrets doing it because it's different. It's a family, and it's a small circle that's growing and growing and growing. And that's our strength. Like I said, we're going to be okay because people will start to listen and they will understand, but they got to do it right now. That transfer portal at the end of this month, right? And we are laser focused on making sure people understand that the alarm has been sound, and we got to get them to step up and make an active decision. Tell their buddy, tell a neighbor, tell everybody. $20 a month, you get to make sure that we're doing our part so that we can continue to watch this team do these amazing things.
Jeff, we have 60 seconds, but I want to ask you about this potential NIL tournament that was referenced in Mark Ziegler's article that you're quoted in today in the UT. And I know that's not something that Mesa or San Diego State is quote unquote banking on right now, but what potential impact does something like that have on a program? Like, if this tournament comes to be, what is the impact for student athletes, and what could that mean?
It's a function. It speaks to the credibility that San Diego State has as a program, right? The fact that we're being included potentially in this year one version, which seems like it's going to be somewhere around 8 teams. We've been working on it for a little bit. It's not done.
Okay.
And we absolutely cannot count it towards next season. But in the event that it comes to pass, it'll be an incredible impact. But what I would say is, with the target continuing to move, guys, we if you had asked me a year ago if we had the kind of revenue that we have right now going into this offseason, I would say, oh, wow, we're going to be all right. But now I know that we're just a little bit short, that we got to grow it. So, yeah, I think it's exciting. Yeah, it speaks to the success of the program. Yeah, it's going to change things for student athletes that look at, our NIL and our exposure nationally, NIL, because of the tournament. But it isn't here. And until it's here, we got this other hole and this issue. And as I said before, I really can't stand reading all of the articles and the comments and the messages on people hoping that we need this guy, we need this position, we need that. Well, hope is absolutely not a strategy. It just isn't. And without the people that can step up and make these differences, the businesses and the individuals that are fans, we're just not going to make the splash that we need to make. And so it's easy. We've tried to make it easy. We've tried to make it incredibly interactive and enjoyable. And we think we've done that. So, we're trying to be direct as possible at this point. And that message is, we need it, and we need it now. And in the absence of more people being a part of this thing, we're going to watch not only teams across the country be very challenging for us to get past in the tournament, but people in our own conference. That's just a fact.
All right. You heard it from Jeff Smith. He's the president of the Mesa Foundation. If you want to support as we head into a critical offseason, MesaFoundationSD.org. MesaFoundationSD.org. Jeff, thank you as always. We'll do it again soon. All right.
Yeah, sounds good, guys. Thank you.
All right. Jim's back page next.